Welcome back, everybody. This is Zath. Now I'm joined by Squizzer, and we are looking at PTO II, Pacific Theater of Operations the Second. Koei made this 2 years after their blockbuster hit in 1993 that, like, me and like five other people played religiously uh, over in the States. It was a big hit in Japan, too. So I'm going to hit the reset button so that we can take a look at the Oh, cool. All right. And Stevie's joining us. I went ahead and put the camera on, all that good stuff, because I figured some people might want to see all of that, too. I should get the light on. There we go. Oh, and stupid me. I filled up on water, and then I forgot to bring it back upstairs. Oh, well.
Typical, always the way.
Yeah. And you can already see the graphics have changed tremendously from PTO 1. This is the Yamato. I love the feeling that, this is all about battleships. Because it's really not, but, Ooh, actually, I have enough time to go get something. I'll be right back. Purposely not doing anything right now. 'Cause I love the music.
This is giving me Pokemon
And this is the part I wanted to be here for. It's coming up. I love this. You see the Akagi, and it's got information. There's Sexy Lexi. Battleship Congo. Pennsylvania. The Furutaka. And my favorite cruiser, the Pensacola. And it's Akuma. Brooklyn. Hiryu. I missed that model in game. There's the Yorktown. And the Fuso. California. Miyoko. Hey, it's everybody's favorite Tier 7 premium cruiser. Now, Agano hasn't appeared yet, I believe, in World Warships. There's Atlanta. Shokaku. Wasp also hasn't appeared in WoWs. That'd be neat to see. Issei. A proper Issei. North Carolina. And the Mogami. Everybody loves the Mogami. Astoria. We haven't seen that class happen. Oh, the Oyoto. Cleveland. Shinano. Used to be in the game, no longer. Essex. Same thing. Nagato. Artasan's favorite ship. South Dakota. Haha, it's the Tone. Baltimore. There's the Yamato. And of course, that means we have to have the Iowa. I just that's just fun. You know what I mean? Like when you start off a game and you see that, you just think, I want to play with these ships, right?
Yeah, it's informative as well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I remember when I first got this game. Now, for some context, guys, I was talking about how I played PTO 1 so much when I found it on sale, actually my mom and my sister found it on sale at a Funko Land, used for $45. They called me and they said, do you think we should get it? Because it's $45, which is almost as much as a brand new game is, and it's used. And I said, yes, because I've never seen it otherwise, and I have been renting it from Blockbuster Video for $4 for like 3 nights, you know, like almost religiously, like almost every week or every other week. So I figured I'd already put in 40 bucks worth of money for it, so why the hell not? So I bought that, played the hell out of that game, just loved it so much. And then this game came out right in time for Christmas of, I can't remember if it was 95 or 96. And it was $75 brand new, 75. This is at a time when these games were $49.99 brand new. They were 50 bucks. So $75 was like unheard of at the time. And my parents were like, are you sure you want this game? I'm like, yeah, I want this game. So I got it for Christmas, and then promptly connected it, started it up, played the game, and then ended up having to fly out to Arizona to visit my family. So like, you know, I played it for like 1 day. I brought the manual with me, and while I was sitting around when my parents were out golfing with my grandparents, I was flipping through the manual, just dreaming what I'm going to do when I come home. I was a pathetic little high school kid, but that's what I love to do, you know? So, I've played this game a lot. A lot. There are different scenarios that you can pick out here, and then the yellows are full-fledged campaigns. So, PTO 1, you could play any of the scenarios, and then when the scenario ends, you could just play out the rest of the war and see how things go. PTO 2, though, if you finish, then that's it, unless you're playing one of these 3 in yellow. So, Squizzer, since you're here, why don't you pick out one of these white scenarios?
Let's go to the Battle of Midway.
Battle of Midway it is. So, of course, just like PTO 1, we've got ourselves a little bit of a background. Hold on just 1 second. I'm gonna phone call for my wife. I'm gonna pause. Okay, I think we're back on. It looks like we're back on. That's the first time I've ever used the pause function on recording. So let's hope that works out okay.
Incoming corruption.
Oh God, that's okay. I mean, it's just this, right? Okay, so Squizzer, which side am I gonna play?
Japan.
Let's play Japan. Alright, I'm gonna just do beginner because I want to demo the game and not worry about like doing everything right or wrong. Let's leave that on select, and all that else is good, fine. Alright, Battle of Midway, Japanese forces. Isaruku Yamamoto telling me to select the final goal for this operation. I need to choose. Am I going to occupy Midway and Attu Island by June 18th? Am I going to sink 3 or more aircraft carriers by June 18th? Or am I going to sink an aircraft carrier and occupy Midway by June 18th? I think we go with the historical option, which is number 2. What do you think?
Cripple them. Yeah, sounds good.
We have selected number 2. Please select mode of death. Alright. Since we are unable to destroy the enemy's carriers, we have left our country open to air raids. In the Battle of Coral Sea, we were unable to destroy the enemy carriers. They only sank the Lexington, they wounded the Yorktown, and Japanese actually thought that they had sunk the Yorktown because how badly damaged it was. By this time, we lured the enemy fleet into battle and surround them with our superior naval forces. The big thing about Coral Sea was that it took away assets from Midway, specifically the Shokaku and Zuikaku. Now look at the map. The map is larger than it was during the initial PTO I. And you've got all the way to Delhi and Colombo in the Indian theater. You've got all the Indonesian bases as well. Now, Australia is also included in the map. You can even take over Auckland, New Zealand. And then there's a couple other bases that are added, Palmyra, for example, and Panama, and New Orleans, Chicago, New York City, Washington, D.C. is on there, and Montreal. So the map's been expanded quite heavily, which is kind of neat. As a geography nut, this helped me a lot. I feel so at home already. Okay, so the way the game works is that there's 3 different phases. There's the move phase, the plan phase, and then the battle phase. And each of those 3 phases take you into 1 day of time in the game. So PTO I was like, you would do something every 4 hours potentially. In this game, it's a little bit more compressed. Red means it's controlled by the Japanese. Blue means it's controlled by the Allies. So you can see Midway is Allied, Wake is Japanese, etc., etc. I can hit this button, take a look at what I have for fleets right now. You can see there's a whole bunch of fleets in the Midway operation. Got a couple fleets just chilling over here. There's one in Truk and one in Manila. I've got a bunch of subs. This is true to, I believe the Japanese had done this too in real life. They put a submarine net around Pearl to see if anything was leaving. And of course they, if I remember right, did not catch anything that was leaving. Apparently there's also some subs messing around with Seattle, Washington. I don't know why, but there are. This game, the military forces are deployed as divisions, as opposed to just simply a battalion number in the game. So we have a number of fleets that have divisions on them, and we also have our bases that have divisions. So we go into Wake Island, we can see that they have the 15th Marine Division there, and they are tasked with defending Wake Island. They currently have an Air Force of a crappy A-5M fighter, and then your standard D-3A-1 dive bomber and the Nakajima B-5N2, also known as the Kate torpedo bomber. And they're set to patrol, which is silly. They should be set to attack, but whatever. In the base menu, you can do things like increase transportation of just number of transports, as well as naval reserves. You can choose to build a harbor. You can convert one of those harbors into a dry dock. You can build up to 2 airfields at a base. This one currently has 1. And you can lay mines. Note that if you lay mines, your submarines cannot use it, but if you have mines laid, then submarines cannot attack the base. Generally speaking, you don't really need to worry about laying mines that much. And we have a large flotilla of Japanese forces that are steaming towards Midway. And there's Midway. Alright, so one of the first things that I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to assign a mark. Let's see, I think that's under Intel, yeah. And I'm going to mark Midway. Okay. Now remember, I want to kill the carriers, but in the process, I need to destroy the airfields at Midway Island. That's really important. So I'm going to go to my fleets now. And my number 1 fleet, which is made up of 3 battleships and 3 destroyers, I'm going to order them, instead of patrolling, I'm going to order them to shell Midway. Now, Yamamoto is on this fleet. I'll probably just magically whisk him away and have him go someplace else, because he's got talents, and those talents are not being used all the way back in the backfield. So we're gonna move him up front, and we're gonna get rid of Nagumo. He doesn't deserve to, run the Kido Butai. That's the 3rd fleet, by the way, right here. Oh no, it's not. It's only 1 carrier. Okay, well, we're gonna set him to. Did I set it to patrol? I think I set it to patrol. Let's see. Yeah, I should have set it to attack. My apologies, I missed it by 1. So it's a lot easier to set a mark and then just tell them to go there, as opposed to, like, move the cursor around all over the place. So, there's the 4th fleet. All right, with 2 carriers. Now, one thing that I didn't show off in PTO I is the size of your fleet. In PTO I, you can have up to 16 ships in 1 fleet. In PTO II, that number was reduced to 8 at the most. So I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and tell everybody just to go straight in. Actually, I want him to shell Midway. That's good. Kurita can shell Midway. Kurita was the landing force in the actual history. In this game, they're just kind of there. Shelling with 1 cruiser. Oh, God, that's not going to work. We're going to have you patrol. Now, the difference between patrol and attack is patrol means that they will spend a lot of their action points trying to search, versus attack, they will try to hold some points in reserve. You've got troops, so we might as well tell you to land as well. Now, movement points, if you look on the right side of the screen, you can see it says 13 out of 13. That movement point is based off the top speed of your ship. So this fleet for right now, for example, can go 34 knots, which means it has 13 movement points. When it goes down to 33 knots, it drops down to 12. The idea being that a faster fleet will have a quicker initiative. And when it comes to naval battles, it's all about who has that initiative for determining who's attacking and who's defending. So, generally speaking, you want to have higher movement points so that you can have that better initiative. Which is one thing that does kind of hamper the Japanese Navy a little bit, because the Japanese carriers in general are slower than the American carriers. Osayaga, we got him set to land in Atsu. But I think we might just... Yeah, he's right there. Okay, whatever. You go do you. That's fine. That's fine, you can do that. And 14th Fleet is striking Atsu? We don't want to strike Atsu. We want to attack in the area. It's going to take them a while to get back to the Midway area of operations, but that's okay. We've got until the 18th. 15th Fleet. Okay. Alright, so we've ordered our fleets, our submarines. I'm not gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Sorry, Squizzer, this is gonna take a little bit of time. The initial part of... Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not bothered. It's interesting just to see how everything works and what's happening.
Yep. This is standard operations for me when I start a game. Is I end up having to set a ton of like move orders and stuff like that. I often will spend about a half an hour like setting everything up in order to make it work. which is a little, you know, challenging and frustrating, but it is what it is. So, the missions that I'm assigning here, you've got 3 choices for the submarines. I guess I should have done it for the fleets. I'll show you in a little bit. You can go to port, which literally is what it sounds like. You send them to go to a port. If you send a submarine to a port that's got a dockyard, it will upgrade a submarine with new technology like search radar and gunnery radar. Once you've learned them, sabotage, it basically sets them to try to destroy the enemy's transportation network. So if you want to, like, draw the enemy to a halt, you sabotage them from either their oil producing areas, like that's what the Americans did with submarines in World War II, or like you can sabotage their home port. So you can send like all the submarines to like Hawaii, for example, because if you can sabotage Hawaii, then you reduce the monthly intake of oil and materials. So these guys are all set to patrol. I'm going to set them to attack because honestly, I'd rather, if they find an enemy, I'd rather they attack the enemy than just sit there and you know, relay their position to the fleet, right? I want them to do something. And of course there's submarines up in the Aleutian area for that operation. I'm just going to send them back to Midway. And it probably doesn't even matter. Well, no, I've got almost 2 weeks, so there's going to be enough time for them to get back. See, so here's some submarines, sabotage Seattle. We're going to send them... Ugh, God. I'll just tell them to attack at Midway for now, I guess. Sabotaging is, it's really not worthwhile. I don't understand why they had that as an option. I've never felt like I've won a game because of sabotaging. The end result is you end up like losing a lot of your subs in the process, so there's just no reason to do it. You have a maximum of 16 submarines in this game, and it's not also one of the other big changes from the first game. You saw how overpowered submarines were in a sense that we completed our scenario in literally like 12 in-game hours because of submarines just happening to find the enemy main fleet. So submarines are nowhere near as powerful now because they're individual ships, so they can't wolf pack and attack and stuff. So there's some good things about it and some bad. Got through all of our submarines. I'm not going to worry about base air forces, that doesn't matter. Let's go to truck for a second. I'll show you the process of gassing up the fleet. So here's our 5th fleet there. And they want to resupply. Sure, let's let them resupply. Also, we can fix them, so if there's any ships that are damaged, we can repair them at truck because it's got a dockyard. It looks to me like there are none that are damaged, but we could, if we wanted to, equip anti-air radar on them. We're not going to because there's no point in putting radar on the Aerobiz. If this was a long-term game, I probably would. I can organize them into a formation. So right now they're in double line ahead. I could put them into circular for anti-air, horizontal for fleet actions. Actually, that's more for bombardment. But again, I'm not going to for this. I just wanted to show you that there's a ton of depth. I could scuttle a ship if I want to. There's a ton of depth into the game. So let's go ahead and supply the ship, or the fleet. 100% fuel, boom. That icon next to the transport says that those transports are loaded up with fuel. You can load them with either fuel or with troops. As a matter of fact, I wonder... Let me see, land forces. What do we have on land forces? 2 Marine regiments. So if I wanted to, I can board with these Marines. I can board them onto one of the transport ships. one of the groups of transport ships. They're groups of 4, so a full group of 4 can handle essentially 100% of a Marine division. That's how the game works. If you have 3 transports, you can only put fuel on them, or a division up to 75%. So there we go. We have now gone ahead and replenished these guys, and we're going to tell them to attack because there's some heavy cruisers in there. We're going to tell them to attack over at Midway. Oh, orders. Other orders. Move, self-explanatory, supply, self-explanatory, engage. Basically means it's something like supply, but you're going to go to a port and you're just going to engage anybody on the way. Strike is airstrike, and you can just select to kind of get an idea what it says. Shell is just bombardment, land is troops, patrol, attack, anti-sub is obviously anti-sub operations. So we're going to tell them to attack, send the orders through. And let's take a look at what our fleets are. So the main fleet is our 4th fleet with 2 carriers, 2 battleships, and 4 destroyers. Run by Nagumo, and that's probably the Akagi and the Kaga. I'm thinking here. Yep. You can also choose what kind of aircraft to put on them. Another big change from PTO I is that the aircraft that you put on them, you can choose which aircraft. They've got an experience rating, so when you deploy them at the start, they're at like 20-something experience. You can train them up to 60 by having them just do patrol, get airtime, and then in combat maneuvers, their experience will grow, but they will oftentimes lose planes in the process. So that's a fun mini game in itself, trying to figure out like how to maximize your experience on your aircraft. You'll also see an armor layout. There's port, starboard, bow, and stern armor ratings. Obviously, if it gets to 0 on any one of those, the ship will sink. And it's got a more realistic anti-air, anti-fleet kind of armament information there. You can see its speed and the ship's experience. It does not have search radar or anti-air radar because, well, they don't right now. But you can look at all of your ships that way, and sometimes it's fun just to take a look at the spec sheets and see what's up with them. You can lose yourself for days just staring at this kind of stuff. So that's the 4th fleet. I think the 5th fleet is the Hiryu and the Soryu. Yes. Okay. So the reason I'm looking at that is because those are the primary fleets that I need to put commanders on. The 6th fleet does not have battleships, so I don't care. 7th fleet also does not, so I don't really care about them. So I'm going to go to military operations, personnel, Navy, and I'm going to go ahead and move some of these people around. If I hit the arrow to the right or left, you can kind of see their capabilities. And you can see that Yamamoto is rated at 60 at air, which means he's pretty good at striking. Oh, M-Captain's here. Hello, M-Captain.
Hey, I'm just listening, and I didn't want to interrupt or anything.
That's fine. You're always welcome to oh, I screwed that up. You're always welcome to ask questions and stuff like that. So
Alrighty.
we're gonna put Yamamoto. We're gonna relieve Nagumo of his command, and we're gonna put Yamamoto in command of the Akagi and the Kaga. And Toyota, who took over for the combined fleet after Yamamoto's death, is gonna go ahead and take care of the Hiryu and Soryu. Do I need anybody else with carriers capability? Nope. So we're gonna put these guys on fleets. Let's take a look. And I'm looking for my battleship fleets. So that's obviously going to be the 2nd fleet. Takasu will put, I guess, on the 1st fleet because there's battleships there as well. Let me just flip through real quick and see if there's any other battleship fleets. I don't think there are. No. Alright. So we'll go ahead and put Takasu on the 1st fleet. Now, I'm not going to spend the time doing it, but you can also deploy these guys, as you can see, for base air forces, so that they influence an air raid. You can have them command submarines, so they influence submarines' characteristics. They don't really do anything if you put them in Marines, for whatever reason. It doesn't seem like it does much. Oh, and there's a lot of talk about the portrait colors, and what the portrait colors mean. Believe it or not, there's a whole group of people that have tried to decipher this and said, you know, blue is better for anti-air or aircraft and whatever. I have no idea. But you'd also notice that those are actual people, real-life people, and not just names like in PTO I as well. I can go to info. I can take a look at my warships in service, so I can get an idea of overall what ships I have. For this particular group, they've removed a lot of the ships that existed because they were not part of the Midway operation. So I believe there's going to be no warships being built. Yeah. We can learn about our nation's technology capabilities right now. You can see our GNP, gross national product, of course, is not as good as America because it's not. And you can kind of see Japan is leading on weaponry, and that's it right now. And let's see. For people that love tanks, this game actually incorporates tanks in this, and you can have tank divisions, at least on the army side of things. Sadly, the Japanese tanks are inferior to pretty much everybody else. Their highest rating becomes 3 and 3 later on down the line, whereas the Americans get the Sherman M4 with 3 and 4, which is kind of ironic historically speaking because Sherman tanks weren't well known for great armor, but hey, it's a video game. And you can see the Russian tanks and the British tanks. There's also aircraft that are in this game that are for armies as well as for navies. So you can see here we've got our American Navy aircraft. There's that P-38 Lightning, which is an army fighter, can only be deployed to army bases. B-17. So it's to me, like, I geek out looking at this, you know, like, it's just fun. But you didn't come here to look at all that kind of stuff. You came here to watch us destroy the American Navy, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and save the game. I don't think it matters, but just because I don't want to have to come back to it if we screw something up. So we'll execute the move phase. I'm gonna fast forward to this part because you're not really missing much. Once the slider gets to the end, we'll find out if there's any reports, if they've discovered anybody, anything like that to pass back. It'll show up here before the plan phase. It did not. If I go over to Midway, you'll see that the fleets have started to descend upon Midway. The number 7 fleet is not within striking distance, but it can be struck by Midway's arsenal. You can see the subs. I have recalled them back to Midway, so they are coming back to Midway now. And we're just going to end the plan phase because there's nothing else to do. I could have told my carrier forces to attack Midway. I could have micromanaged that, but I didn't want to because I wanted to keep the planes in tip-top shape for striking the carrier forces later on. So we go to battle phase. And now we see there's war raging all over the place. This is Wuhan now being attacking forces that are invading Wuhan. We'll go ahead and watch this so you can guys get an idea of how it works. These guys have they kind of simplify things by merging the soldier head count. That's basically a percentage. With its ability to do anti-air, so the stronger it is, the better chance of shooting down an aircraft it's going to have. So far they haven't shot down anybody yet. And we're going to speed things up by hitting the right bumper. Every bomb hit is taking away 3% of the division force. Here's the KI-21s level bombing. Now there they lost a plane. Now this doesn't seem like a big deal. If there were multiple units that were defending, if these aircraft were striking 4 units, most of these aircraft would be shot down just because of the level of flak and everything. And that's part of the reason I did not choose to strike with my aircraft on Midway. Wow, you guys sucked.
All missed.
All of them missed. So they lost two planes, but they managed to kill 48% of the enemy battalion, which will come in very handy later. As predicted, Midway discovered the 7th Fleet, so they are now striking the 7th Fleet. They're attacking it with 2 bomber squadrons and 1 attack torpedo squadron. We'll go ahead and watch the battle, see what happens. Dauntless dive bombers. Yeah, bye Nagara. 4 hits. Ouch.
Smoky.
Yeah, just a little smoky. Serious damage. Sunken ship.
Oh.
Eh. Hey, it's the Yakumo. Starboard side, slight damage. Anti-aircraft guns were damaged. Okay. Yakumo's still alive. Here comes the TBF Avenger. 1 torpedo hit will probably kill it. And looks like it will. Bye, Yakumo. That's okay. That fleet is there just to basically be cannon fodder. And now we have land engagements. These are funny to watch. Basically, both sides go back and forth. Pew, 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 pew. And they go for a set number of turns, and then stop. If, yeah, so. But you can have tanks in there and stuff. It's pretty ridiculous. And awesome, if you ask me, but. Alright. Back to our move phase. Our number 7 fleet is telling me that they're not happy. Why are you not happy? Oh, because you lost your cruiser. So the 7th fleet can no longer patrol because they don't have any aircraft to search with. So now I'm going to tell them to do anti-sub, which essentially just tells them to go hang out, and if they see something, report back. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to go and just be there. Subs have moved, like I said, and that's it for this movement phase. Game saved. Let's take a look at the weather at Midway. The weather plays an important role in this game. It's sunny, which means it's going to be easier for things within this tile to be spotted. If it's cloudy, it's harder. And if it's raining, then that means that strike craft cannot take off. Fast forwarding again. Taiwan is a post that's been taken over by the Americans. There's posts and there's bases. Japanese have taken Fuzhou.
Definitely a Pokemon victory sound.
Is it? Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, perfect! We found a fleet with 1 carrier. Okay. Now I'll show you guys what the posts look like in a second here. So now bases can attack each other with their air forces, but they can also send divisions, land forces, to attack. So from Wuhan, you have to go through Yichang to get to Chongqing. So you can have battles that occur in posts or in bases. The main difference is if you're defending, like the troops at Wuhan, they regain 5% strength every turn as the defender. If they're both here, then nobody gets that bonus. So you have to decide, you know, when do you want to move your forces and stuff like that. Okay, so now I get to show you guys striking an enemy air force. So let's see. I don't think that the 4th Fleet has range. And for some odd reason, Toyota has not put... Okay. Toyota has not escorted his fleet. Apparently he's also not armed for bombs or torpedoes, his strike craft. So we're going to go ahead and do that for him. You can micromanage this thing like crazy.
Not having like torpedoes loaded onto your aircraft is a very Midway thing to do.
Yeah, right?
And not knowing what bombs to put on your attack aircraft.
Yep, I did not realize this. I guess... Why did that remove... I'm confused. Oh, okay. I used up all my movement points. When you rearm, that costs you 1 movement point. Okay, Yamamoto is being smart and escorting at least. So let's go ahead and spend a movement point to rearm. So Toyota didn't arm his planes, didn't put up any escorts, and just YOLO'd his ships into the Midway area. Sounds legit.
Kamikaze? Question mark.
Sounds legit. Okay, so I do have 1 movement point left, which means I can strike something. Unfortunately, nothing is in range other than Midway base itself, which I really don't feel like striking. So I'm going to spend that on searching. I lost a scout in the process of searching. Oh my god, these guys. Okay, well that's all I'm going to be able to do for this turn. And we'll have to see what happens. I think there's 1 submarine that's in range. And as I feared, the Americans are attacking from Midway now, the 5th Fleet. So we'll have 2 dive bomber attacks on the Soryu. Fortunately, it shot down one of the attacking groups. Good. Bow sustained minimal damage. That's important. Bombs can attack the bow, the stern, or the side that they're attacking. Torpedoes can only attack the sides. So the torpedo bombers would be far more efficient when it comes to taking down ships. But because these guys are in an anti-air formation, these torpedo bombers have to go through the destroyers first. So, bye Tanikaze. Oh, Devastators. Really crappy planes. As you can see, they lost 9 of them.
And all the torps missed.
Yep.
So I gather this is Tone before the conversion?
Yeah. Yeah, and she will not be converted anymore.
Now, can you make this sort of like alternate history, like Japan won the Pacific War sort of thing, or?
I mean, you can win the Pacific War, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that! Nobody's home defending Atsu. Perfect. I'm just not gonna... We won't watch the game because he's gonna land the troops, but there is a kind of land mode. And just like that, we have Atsu. And those poor Chinese are just gonna get mowed down here. Fast forward a little bit. So like the 12th Division there is gonna heal back up to 100%, so the losses that it took are meaningless. Which is great because it shows the level of depth in terms of land warfare, you know, like...
Defending's easier.
Yes, exactly. Now this is a post, so neither side is going to heal up after this battle. One thing I like about this is it helps you understand and appreciate the amount of fighting that occurred, you know, in China during this time. It wasn't just like the Americans fighting the Japanese and, oh, you know, Singapore falls and so the British 4C gets wiped out, etc., etc. Like, there's so much more. Oh, 8th Division, I think, is a tank division. Is it sad that I remember this? It tells you how much I played.
I didn't know that the U.S. military had Matilda tanks.
Well, it's British. It's because it said ENG up there. It's English, but they just posted an American flag because it's an allied.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So because there's a land route to Port Moresby, you can send your troops on land. You don't have to just do an amphibious landing, which is kind of cool. You can go and soften up a base and stuff like that, and then just march your troops in. Or you can just be like the Japanese army and YOLO, apparently. You can have up to 4 divisions in one location at any given time. 4 divisions in a base, 4 divisions in a post. So if you stack them all up, it gets really messy trying to logistically move them around. But that helps at least kind of balance things out a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna need to... I guess I'm gonna pull a... yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna save the game. And I'm gonna pull a... what were they called? In Mass Effect 2... What were the... I'm gonna pull a Harbinger and assume direct control of the 5th and the 4th fleets. So we're gonna go ahead and escort. You know what? No, we're not gonna escort. I'm not gonna put escorts up. We're gonna go with the heavy risk but the prize mentality. Oh, I didn't look at the weather. I need to look at the weather. Right now, these guys are in the sun. We need to get them in the clouds. Ugh. The 4th fleet at least is pretty safe. Alright, I cannot move them south because the south is raining. So we're gonna have to move them to this grid square. Oh, oops, I hit the wrong button. So move them there. And I can check out my gun range, I can check out my air range, and I can say, this is the course I want you to take. So there you go, take that course. Alright. And my 4th fleet is under air cover, or under cloud cover right now. So they're looking pretty good. But I do want to move them just in case they got detected, and I want to move them into a closer strike range of the 3rd fleet. Alright. So let's go ahead and end the turn now. I think that takes care of everybody except... Oh yeah, the 13th fleet. The 13th fleet's like, well, we landed our troops. What do we do now? So, I'm just gonna sail them into the ports, I guess. There we go. I could have ordered them to go to the port, but it takes as much time to sail them directly as it does to do that, so why the hell not? Alright, let's end the turn. And we did not detect anybody this time. That's not good. That's really not good. Alright, well, we're gonna have to do some searches with the 5th fleet. See if we can find our prey. Each time I search, it costs a movement point. Oh, look at that.
Oh, they're in gun range.
They are, and unfortunately, I do not have battleships with this group, so we're just going to strike them. And you better not have... Okay, good. You still have guns and or bombs and torpedoes. You still have bombs and torpedoes. Cool. So I'm going to do a full alpha strike. Fire everything!
Sounds like a helicopter.
I know.
I was about to say, I was like, I didn't know the Japanese built helicopters back in World War II.
Now, I could search for another enemy fleet, but I'm going to strike the 3rd fleet instead, because I think I've got range. Let's see if I do. Oh. I can only attack with my... My
Fighters.
fighters. That sucks. Okay. So, if that's the case, I think I'm going to be better off doing a search of the area. Might as well use up the movement points. So I'm going to go ahead and do a search. Oh, hey! There's 2 carriers and 5 destroyers. Yes!
You found the 3 carriers you need.
I found the 3 carriers I need. Now I just have to kill them, that's all. No problem.
Oh yeah. No problem. They're Americans.
Don't
Alright,
worry, their ships are big and cumbersome, so it takes a while to turn.
right? Okay. Let's attack with all aircraft. Alpha strike, full alpha strike. Let's go. Okay. Stuff's gonna get real. Oh, wait, and there's another carrier. Wait here, this is just a light carrier fleet? Let me see if they even have any strike aircraft. I don't think they do. Is this the Ryujo? This is Suiho. Suiho's got 30 planes. I know it's escorting with 1 group, so does it does have a strike capability. Okay. So we're gonna take our Kates. We're gonna assume direct control of this fleet. And let's go to rearm. Let's make sure that he's got torpedoes loaded. Nope, he's got guns, of course. So I'm gonna have to spend a movement point to rearm them for guns. That's okay though. Now let's go ahead and strike. Wow, just in range. You suck.
Oh.
You suck,
Graphics.
game. You lied to me. Literally 1 pixel away.
The sound of hopefulness in your voice, just to then get defeated by then all of a sudden just hearing, no, you can't hit him.
Yep, I know. It's lovely, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm just gonna tell them to attack in Midway then, and they'll do their thing. Or I could just
Attack a Midway when they've got torpedoes loaded.
Well, he's not gonna strike Midway. I'm just telling them to attack any enemies in the area. All right, well, let's see what happens.
It wasn't Yamato in the Battle of Midway?
Yes, the Yamato was in the first fleet. It was trailing behind the strike force, and when the strike force went down, Yamamoto was deciding, do we go full at him and try to make something happen, or do we just turn around? And they just turned around.
Oh.
Now, one thing can screw up my plans, and that is the enemy base air force. If Midway decides, finds and attacks my carrier force, then that cancels my strike. Which should sound oddly familiar, right? So, and bye-bye Chinese 1st Division. Oh, thank God, they went for the 6th. Okay. So what's the 6th got? Oh, it's my cruiser division with Kurita. Okay. We'll go ahead and watch the battle unfold. One bomb hit the bow. That's not a big deal. I usually care more if the bombs hit the starboard or port side because obviously it's easier for that ship to go down. But fortunately for me, it looks like the Avengers attacking the wrong side of the Kumano. Yep. So we're just spreading out the damage to the ship. That's all. And what that means
It's just a bit wet inside.
right? Now we get to attack. And this is why I didn't want to have escorts, because I'm going to cut through their escorts. Doesn't that look fun? Yes. Are you not entertained?
Hello, 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 goodbye, goodbye.
Yep.
Just the pilot's waving at each.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yes. So
let me just. I'll get a fire 1 set at you. That's it. Goodbye.
Oh, I'm out of ammo. Time to go home.
Are these battleship fighters?
All right, so I need to cut my way into here. Now I could just drop the bombs, but you know what? I'm just gonna. What do you think? Should I just drop the bombs?
YOLO.
We're
The
gonna.
torpedoes won't be able to get in.
So if I'm just dropping the bombs, then I have to only hit these guys with my bombers. With my dive bombers. If I hit from the torpedo bombers, it doesn't. I have to work my way through the destroyers. So we're going for the all or nothing, all in approach, which might end up.
Dive over them.
Yep. Oh, 3 hits on the Yorktown.
3 hits. He's going down.
Port side serious damage. Not going down yet.
Oh.
Anti-air
Engines
damage.
damaged.
Engines damaged, yeah. So I think I've got... Nope. Torpedo bombers, so I can only attack from the sim side. So we'll do that. Goodbye, sims.
Oof.
You get too much
Yikes.
experience.
That's what happens when you have sea mines for torpedoes.
That's right. He should have used the smoke screen. Tisk tisk. He didn't dodge. That's his problem. That's his real problem.
Yeah, just dodge.
Just dodge.
Just
yeah.
dodge. I'm gonna strafe the Indianapolis class. Strafing won't do any damage to it, but it might damage the anti-air guns, which helps my planes survive.
So you're just machine gunning crewmen.
Yes, and apparently my machine guns took out or damaged the 8-inch guns on the Indianapolis.
Yes, that makes sense. Totally.
Yes. It's heavy armor piercing bullets.
Yes.
Yep. Alright, so the Yorktown speed has been reduced to 26 knots. She's got 1 point of armor left on the starboard, so if I hit a bomb on the starboard side, she will sink. If I hit on the bow, the same number of bombs, 3, it will probably sink. If it's the stern, it probably will live. So that means it's going to hit the stern. Port
Forward
side!
target.
Yeah!
Oh.
There goes the Yorktown.
Kaboom. Kaboom.
Now it's a free-for-all. We can hit whatever the heck we feel like, and we're gonna go ahead and strike. I want to keep these planes alive so I can shoot the other group. So we're just gonna wipe out the transports.
Wow.
Like war crime.
Nothing like good old war crimes to be added into the mix of a video game.
Yeah, well, you know, they have fuel. We want to take away their fuel. Ah, and now we go for the first fleet. And here we go again.
Hello, goodbye. Goodbye.
Hey, I won that engagement by 1 plane.
Yay.
Now, if I didn't attack with my fighters, those fighters would intercept 2 of my bomber squadrons, which obviously is a really big deal. Oh, I will watch this battle. As a matter of fact, I will assume direct control. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and YOLO bombers on whatever carrier is in the number 2 position. Because if I attack the number 1 position, the planes fly over number 7, number 4, number 2, right? So if I attack the number 2, the planes fly over number 7, and I think 4, 1, and 6 aid with their anti-air. I think that's how the game works. So we're gonna drop on the Yorktown class. Yeah, that's right. There was no Lexington or Saratoga. I forgot it was all 3 of the Yorktowns. Now we don't know if it's the Enterprise or the Hornet that we're hitting here, but ouch.
Smoking
Side.
already.
Banzai for the win. I just need to sink 1 more carrier, guys. We'll go ahead and I'll strike the Craven class. See, we are rewriting history right here. We are getting the first strike on the American forces that were totally unprepared for us.
Did you already do your attack on Pearl Harbor?
We did. We just picked an operation. Squizzer asked to do Midway, so we're doing a scenario.
Oh.
You can do a full game, or you can do a scenario. We just picked one of the scenarios for a quick demo. If you and other people on YouTube enjoy watching this and want me to play more, I am very happy to do so. For either PTO I, PTO II, whatever. But sometimes I just like nostalgia, going back and you suck.
Just full miss.
And that's gonna force me to go into next day because, oh, can I strike?
You're gonna machine gun them.
Yeah, I take that with my 20mm cannons.
Right?
7.62.
Wow. They suck too. Damn destroyer must have dodged.
All he did his job, which was just dodging.
Man lives to fight another day.
Oh, wait, we got a sub.
There's a submarine gun after them.
Yes, damn it. Okay, now Submarine Warfare is a little bit different. You get the ability to move one tile per movement speed. And you can see there, we got the destroyers. They just move forward until, like, I decide to show my presence. As soon as I show my presence, the destroyers will break off and depth charge the hell out of me. So, generally what I do with submarines is I wait for the first group of destroyers to leave the area, and then I torque the hell out of my main target. So I'm going to spend a turn steering. Just fast forward because they're just moving. And I'm probably gonna move down one and over one. I think that's where I want to set up. And I have... oh, crap.
You're always gonna outrun you.
Well, no, it's just that if I wait, these three are gonna leave the area, so all I'm gonna be able to do is shoot the destroyer. So, yeah, whatever. I'll wait a turn. Actually, what's my torpedo range? Yeah, I'll wait a turn. Waiting a turn means that, you know, the two destroyers at least are gone. I think I need to move down. Oops. Down and over. Wait. No ships, that's what I thought. Okay. Alright, let's shoot you. Gotta love the animations. And they missed. What we need is like a Metal Gear Solid style, like exclamation point, like whoop, coming up on the destroyer.
They've just turned around instantly. Like, what were you saying?
Yes. So now I have to like kind of run away so they don't run into me. And they're gonna move up. Just do something like that. Now I did that on purpose because I wanted to be able to attack without fear of reprisal. These guys are going to have to turn around in order to get to me, so it's going to waste one of their turns. It gives me the chance to flee. Wow.
Wow.
I guess that's why you don't attack bow or stern on targets, huh?
I guess so.
Alright. And I got one. This is turn 10. You have a max of 10 turns. So I got one turn left. We'll do one more attack. Because I don't think those destroyers can hit me. Nope. Just fast forward, and that's the end of that. Very riveting gameplay, as you can tell. Oh, the 7th Fleet found an enemy destroyer, so they can depth charge the hell out of it. I'm not going to watch this because It's basically the reverse of what you just saw. Plus, it might
Destroy
get...
is chasing.
Yep. And we have our land fighting again, so we're gonna fast forward that because we don't really care. Doesn't matter. There goes our tanks. Okay. So that was a very productive day, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We sank 2 carriers, badly damaged a 3rd. We just have to finish the job, and look at all that rain.
No striking.
Well, I can strike from this spot. It's under the sun. But actually, I wonder if there's cloud nearby. No. But most importantly, oh, Midway can't strike. Midway can't strike. So, you know, I'm going to leave the 5th Fleet right there. I'm not going to even bother moving it. I want to keep that movement point so that next turn I can attack the 1st Fleet before the 1st Fleet can attack me. And you're under rain. But I think it's sun above it. I should have looked. Yes. It would be nice if they had the weather forecast like up here so you can see it, but that's okay. Oh, damn it, I hit the wrong button again. I keep forgetting I have to hit course and like lock that in and be like, do you want to go here? And I'll be like, yes, I do. Alright, there we go. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and just assume direct control of this fleet too. And this fleet, can I get to that corner and still have range? Barely. But I'm gonna conflict with that spot. Ugh.
The bottom box is clear as well.
This one is rain, this one is clear. I thought. Let's see. Oh, you're right, it is clear. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. So, I can just put myself there. Actually, I think I want to get closer. I'll have 2 movement points left. That'll be enough. So that course is good. Okay. Well, the Allies took Peking. Okay. Now, do we still know where those fleets are? We do not, so we're gonna have to expend some movement points trying to search for them. I'm gonna start with the 4th Fleet because the 4th Fleet has a few they can use up. I need to keep that initiative high for the 5th Fleet. Oh, hey, there it is. So go figure. I moved closer towards the 1st Fleet, and the 1st Fleet moved away from my 9th Fleet. Damn trolls. Make sure that everything is still torpedo bombs. Yep. Because that would be really embarrassing to attack with guns only, right?
I hope I can do damage to you.
Right?
Please have all of your crewmen line up on the deck.
Oh my god. How did I know that was gonna be your next comment?
Unfortunately, the 1st Fleet is outside of range of my strike craft, so I'm gonna have to strike the 2nd Fleet instead. Boo. That's right, we'll just obliterate the 3rd Fleet. I just love how I spend all those movement points to get him in range, only to not be in range anymore. Oh well.
Where'd he go?
Oh, whatever.
Ba-doop, 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 ba-doop.
We got those three going. That's good enough. Alright, here's our first attack. And I think I'm going to go for the conserve planes approach, so we're going to strafe and attack the weakest targets first. And we damage their main 5-inch guns, which ironically don't do anything to their anti-air guns.
Even though.
Apparently dual purpose is not a thing.
So that means that the Atlanta is not purely an AAA cruiser in this game.
That is correct. Hey, we sank a destroyer! And let's go for you next. And wow. But hey, one torpedo's enough. That works. Anti-air strafe. No, I'll anti-air strafe the cruiser. Hey, there we go. We damaged their anti-aircraft guns. Yeah, let's bomb the destroyer. I could take out the heavy cruisers first, but the idea is I want to have as many planes alive for striking the enemy carrier if necessary. If this turn ends up not killing the carrier. Wow, you suck. Here we go. Now you see that their fleet has reformed.
Destroyer escort.
Yep. Now I gotta think about which side the carrier was damaged. I think it's the port side. Let's just take a look at it. Yes. So we'll go ahead and strafe the Porter class. Porter class has the best anti-air in the game for early American destroyers. I have no idea why, that's just what they did. Okay.
You need to get one lucky bomb on the port side.
It's gotta hit the port side. And it hits the stern!
Oh yeah, the stern is the other damage bit, wasn't it?
Wow. Alright, success! Now we'll just play mop-up games.
Hit the transports.
I could.
Like,
Usually the transports are really good for you to hit with planes that you want to train up because they don't fire back, so you have no chance of losing aircraft.
it's just like shooting medics, they don't fire back.
Yeah, pretty much. But your guys get much better as a result, so that's good, right?
Yeah, target practice, you know?
Exactly. Here you go, Mahan, die. Is that it? Nope. Still have the other carriers squadron to go with, so it's cool. That's probably enough. Yes.
Some more Typhoons.
Yep. I think this is the last strike. Oh, that's also a Craven class. That's interesting. No? I have one more strike. Oh.
Wow.
Do I go for the transport?
No, don't commit war crimes.
Well, the thing is, when you sink the fleet, the transports all die anyways.
Oh,
But he's Japanese. War crimes are his bread and butter.
Oh
that
god.
is true.
Let's try to stay away from comments like that.
So are you streaming this from your SNES?
This is a emulator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm just emulating it. SNES 9X, I think, is the emulator. And then I've got the ROM for it, so I'm able to kind of show this out to you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, don't tell Nintendo.
Yep. I have the actual game cartridge packed away someplace, but I do have the
Someplace
actual.
sacred.
I'm sorry, what?
Someplace sacred.
Mm-hmm. You better believe it. Although I
It's in
wonder,
his safe.
wonder if by now the battery's dead and the game that's saved is no more. It's probably.
Yes.
One thing that sucks about this game is that there's only one save slot, so like, I guess when they built it, the developers just kind of expected that you were only going to be playing, one game and that's it. So, all right, Kurita is going to attack Midway base. I'll show this to you guys so you can see what it's like for these things. Let's see. Order target forces. So I want them to strike the forces that are on the ground. But the destroyers, they just sit there and suicide and die. So we're going to go ahead and tell them to retreat.
Okay.
Yes.
And let Asostio ditch deep water torpedoes?
Pretty much. And we've got... These are heavy cruisers, which means they have a range of 6. These divisions here have a range of 5. So my heavy cruisers will fire without any fear of reprisal. The thing about the destroyers is that they have a range of 4. So I'm just going to, like... speed things up a bit. You can kind of see how it works. It's very similar to the bombing raids and all that kind of stuff. It is kind of fun to watch the turrets kind of animate slightly, I guess, with the explosions and stuff. I'm just gonna like super fast forward now because this will take some time. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. The gun forces have a range of 6. So they can actually strike back and hit my cruisers, but they never do. So that's why I just leave them here like that. I have wasted many hours of my life waiting for bombardments like this to go through. And these days I could just alt-tab out, but in the olden days I had to just stare, do homework or something. I think I did homework.
We're just watching.
And then you
Japanese-
get the news that you lost, and then it's just like, oh great, now we're gonna have to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose not to watch this because they are landing troops, and if I don't watch, there's a better chance that they will land troops successfully. Basically, you have to move a transport all the way up to that edge, and then tell them to land, and then they land. So, there you go. 7th Fleet spotted an enemy submarine. That's my 3 destroyer division. So I'm just not going to watch that either because I don't care. Submarine, no damage. I lost the transport. And land forces. We don't care about land forces. Pew, 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 pew. And we were victorious! We sank 3 or more aircraft carriers by June 18th. We did it in like 3 days.
Yay.
This is one of the mini games that's a real pain in the butt. When you every month go to your war council meeting and you have to play a game of cards, literally. Well, thanks, Chief of Staff. Don't take away from my victory. Success of this operation provided Japan all the time to fortify their air defenses and schedule the operation of Hawaii, home port of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. I've actually never gone through most of these scenarios. Most of the time, I just play the long-term campaigns. Oh, I got a medal. That's neat. And then you go back to the main menu, and the game basically says, go back to playing. So, okay. There you go. Obviously, I have to go make dinner and all that kind of stuff right now, but what did you guys think? Did you enjoy watching?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
fun.
interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You can see why this is just really addicting, right? Like, there's just so much depth to it, and you can do so many things. I mean, it's not the same level as well, what's that really in-depth PC game that does World War II?
Hearts of Iron.
That's of Iron.
Hearts of Iron, yeah, and then I think Matrix Games does one too, or I don't remember, but you know, like this is that nice kind of happy median between complexity and detail and like getting stuff done. You know what I mean? Like
Right, yeah.
so it's kind of fun.
Have you ever played the game called Transportation Tycoon Deluxe at all? It was back in the 90s, like in the late 90s. Have you ever played that game before?
Transportation Tycoon. No, I have not.
No, it's pretty fun. Like you can get if ever you want to talk about getting sucked in, that's a game that you get sucked in by.
Well, okay, so one other game that I thought I could share from my history, my past, is Aerobiz, and that game is also made by Koei, and they do it's basically like you control your own airline. M Captain, I was talking to you about that on Sunday when I was doing Airport CEO.
I think I don't remember that, but okay.
Yeah, I had commented about how it brought me back to like the old days of playing games kind of like that. So that's one game that I was thinking
Right.
about recording and putting up on YouTube at some point too. Because it's just fun. It's fun to go back and look at these old games, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
I'm just looking at the cartridge look to it, like not the cartridge, but the box
the box art.
that would come in. The box art, and it's just like there's a plane going right next to a skyscraper, and it's just like, oh god, don't make any jokes about that certain day.
Oh, you're looking at Aerobiz's. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they
Yep.
also have a supersonic one.
Yes, that was the sequel that came out, and I could not find it anywhere. Anywhere I looked, I just could not locate that damn game. So I don't think it ever got like fully released here in my part of the states. So,
Let me see here.
but yeah, I also have the ROM for that, so I can also play that. But yeah, so guys, thanks for watching. Those of you that are watching on YouTube, please comment if you're enjoying watching these kinds of games. Let me know if there's a game that you want me to see play in more depth. Let me know that too. Like if you think PTO II is a lot of fun and PTO was okay, but you'd really like to see me play a game of PTO II, I have no problem doing that. I love playing these kinds of games, and this gives me the perfect excuse to just lock myself in the room and play this for hours on end. So I can do that. Like I said, I'll probably do a recording for Aerobiz at some point, maybe Friday of next week or something, and that could be a lot of fun too. So until then,
Sounds good.
I'm Captain Squizzer. Thanks for hanging out, and it's always fun having people here, so it's not just me talking to myself the whole time. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow for the stream, huh?
Oh, yeah,
Yay,
definitely.
stream day. Actually, no, I'm down in Montreal tomorrow, so I may be seeing you later in the day.
Okay. No worries, man. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording now.
Sith Kitten.
I'll see you guys. Oh, hey, Sick Kitten.
And And Zeth, are you gonna continue on with Airport CEO, or you just gonna?
I might. I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing it if that's what people want to see. I can either record it off stream or on stream. Um,
Okay.
same kind of thing. Like if people are commenting on my video, and Captain, go ahead if you have a chance to go find that YouTube video and just put a comment on it, like, hey, I want to see more of this. If people are doing that, I have no problem recording more of a certain game. But unless I get those
Alrighty.
comments, I have no idea that people actually care about it. So I just kind of, do a one-off and move on,
Right. Right. Yeah. I think well, the one that I'll perhaps use. I have way too many Google accounts. Holy crow! I'm not
Comment with
kidding.
all of them.
Yeah, do it. Or just use this like a long list. 54 accounts is listing up. Do it.
Oh my God! Wow.
Um,
Right,
no,
I'm coding. I'm coding a bot to spam it.
I don't have that many. I only have three stuff, and one of them is for like a bot account for my stream.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, for sure. Hey, Seth, getting how you doing?
Yeah, okay.
All right, I'm gonna
Just
go ahead.
finished.
I'm gonna stop recording
Go
here,
ahead.
and then we can say hi to Sith. Otherwise, I'm never gonna be able to stop the recording. All right. Bye, guys.